America's Godzilla of Truth. All week long, he's world-renowned for his proficient proclivity to prophesy the people's political picks with pinpoint precision.
Yeah, baby!
Then, on the weekends, he gets with the guys that are pretty wise, and Godzilla wins. Godzilla Wins, the sports picking show for winning dough. Money lines, parlays, over-under, the best plays. You choose the game, Godzilla picks the winners. Get expert analysis, exclusive insights, and have a little fun. When the game is on your mind and money's on the line, Godzilla Wins is your guide to picking winners. Godzilla Wins, on the screens of your TV and favorite devices, commanding radio airwaves far and wide. Before you make that play, hear what the Godzilla crew has to say. Presented by WestVirginiaSportsNation.com, it's time for Godzilla Wins, all across the John Fredericks Media Network. Oh yeah,
for entertainment purposes only.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome in to the best sports betting show on the internet, Godzilla Wins. I'm your host, Logan Powell, alongside my esteemed panel, Mr. John Fredericks, Chris Saxman, and Brendan Statler. How's everyone doing this morning?
Super.
Great. Perfect. Well, if you happen to someone in the show and you're not exactly the biggest sports fan, maybe you're just a fan of politics or just betting in general, I would argue that this is one of the best times of the year to be a sports fan. You got the MLB season gearing up, and in the heat of it with the beginning of the season, you got the NHL playoffs, you got the NBA playoffs. I know this crowd's not panel's not the biggest NBA fans, but you got the playoffs starting, you got the golf going. It's the heat of its season. The Masters concluded, the RBC Heritage, the PGA and the U.S. Open are right around the corner. So this is one of the best times of the year to be a sports fan. I know for me, it's mine. I love the NFL draft. We'll be discussing that soon, as well as some other exciting topics like the NHL playoffs, some key headlines, early part of the MLB season, and, of course, the involving saga between Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel. That is a very interesting situation that we will be discussing later. But first things first, we got to talk about the NFL draft. It's going on as we speak. The final 4 to 7 rounds will be starting today at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Just last night, Friday, concluded the second and third round. Some really good draft picks all around. The first round was Thursday. Pittsburgh set the record for the most people in day one. I think it was roughly 320,000. Saxon Sadler, I know you two are both Pittsburgh fans alongside myself. What did y'all think about that? Did y'all think the venue was good? What did you think about the city, how it looked, the people? It looked like they had a good time. Saxon, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think it's a great event for the NFL, for fans. Pittsburgh is going to be a great host city for that, because it's for anyone who's new to Pittsburgh, and they're the ones on social media talking about what a great city this is, how clean it is, the great skyline, the rivers, the restaurants, the incline up on Mount Washington. Everyone's starting to drop in their Yinzer accents every once in a while. But for Pittsburgh to have this, it's a coup. It's a feather in the hat for them, and apparently they're pulling it off. But what I'm hearing more and more is that most of the people down there are from the area. So what this did was it drew people in from Pittsburgh. They're already there versus the out of towners. But I'm sure there's a lot of people coming from all over the world, as has been indicated. But Pittsburgh's putting on a great show. It's a great host city. People love football in Pittsburgh. Let's not kid ourselves. That place is a mecca for high school, college, and pro football. So great guns for the folks in Pittsburgh. The Yinzers are prepping out and doing well. Weather's been very cooperative, which always helps. I like the fact that the mid-major cities get these kinds of looks a little bit more in depth from people, and that's good overall for the brand, the sports in general, and the NFL. Yeah. I think the draft's a little bit overhyped at this stage of the game. They overproduce. It's like some of the things you see in the Masters. They just try to squeeze as much revenue out of the people as possible. But overall, the impact is great for the game, and I think fans are really enjoying it.
Yeah, the NFL draft's one of the most publicized events. I mean, at the end of the day, it is just a man just calling out names for 3 hours, but Brendan, with how successful the NFL draft has been so far in Pittsburgh, do you think it opens the door for a potential Super Bowl in the coming years in Pittsburgh?
The fan in me would like to say yes, but the only reason I say no is because Super Bowls do not typically come to colder climates, and it's pretty cold here in Pittsburgh by the time the Super Bowl rolls around. The only Super Bowl I really remember being played in a colder climate was about 10 years ago when they had it at East Rutherford, New Jersey. But other than that, if they have it in northern cities, it's typically an indoor venue. So unless the Steelers get an indoor venue, which I don't see them doing anytime soon, I don't see a Super Bowl being hosted there. But based on the success they've had so far with the draft, I could definitely see the draft coming back.
Yeah, I agree. Unfortunately, but I think Pittsburgh would be a great host city, but I think just with the weather, they would not allow it.
I think that's the main reason is just the weather.
Well, let's go ahead and get into the draft. There was some, specifically with the first round pick, there was some really good picks. A lot of offensive linemen went. This was the most offensive linemen that went since 2000, actually. Tied for the most offensive linemen since 2000. That was probably the strongest group. A lot of trenches, even the defensive line was very strong. A lot of Ohio State players like usual. But I want to start with one Ohio State player, one receiver, with your Tennessee Titans, John, Carnell Tate. What did you think about that selection, given how badly the Titans needed weapons to surround with Ward?
Well, let me start here. Thanks for having me. I'm live at the Summit Hill Inn. You guys probably know where this is. It's in Farmington, Pennsylvania, and I came up here for a weekend. Gorgeous place, Uniontown, about a half hour outside of Morgantown. Great place. Anybody who wants to come for just a relaxing weekend. So far, we give it a 10. We've only been here one night, but it's been outstanding. So let me do two things. I'm going to take a couple minutes here, if you don't mind. I actually have a plan today because I'm not hosting, and Ann was asleep, so I had some time. But Dan Hopgood says he knows it well. So two things. I'm going to answer your first question. Did we expect the Ohio State wide receiver to go pick 4 Titans? No. Do we understand why? Yes. You have a generational, transitional quarterback that could take the team to a level of competitiveness that they haven't seen in a while. He needs weapons. He needs somebody to catch the football. Brian Daboll, their offensive coordinator, for whatever reason, fell in love with this guy, his hands, his size, his versatility, and the fact that he gets open and can catch passes. There's no doubt that Cam Ward needed a weapon, somebody to catch a football. They didn't have that last season. Calvin Hill was out half the season. The whole thing was a disaster. So I get it. I get the pick, and I think Saleh went with him, and we'll see what it plays out. The Titans have so many holes. It's like whack-a-mole, right? You put one, another one pops up. But here's my take on the draft. I'll take a minute here, and that's it. For the first 2 days of NFL draft, I thought there was a tremendous gap between what I'm going to call the smart teams and the clueless teams. Big winners, Buffalo Bills. They finally went all in on protecting Josh Allen. They know his window was closing. They gave him weapons. They were active. That's how you win. The Bears, I thought, had the second best draft after 2 days. Best rebuild in football. They surrounded their young quarterback with real talent. They didn't overthink it. They got bodies in there. And I think the Bears are going to be a team to be reckoned with. I also loved what the Eagles did. They're in reload mode, right, as far as I'm concerned. Every year, the Eagles kind of sit back and they hope to steal an elite player like, AJ from the Titans, get somebody like that. Some of them work out, some of them don't. That's a front office that knows exactly what it's doing. Now the losers. The Vikings continue to be the most clueless team in the NFL draft in the last, 30 years. I mean, you watch what the Vikings do, and it's like Comedy Central. Panic picks, reaching no value, can't figure out what they're doing. They're just an average team. I thought the Broncos had a lousy 2-day draft. They really still have no identity. They have no offense that I can see. And then the Patriots, they got real problems here. Rebuilding without urgency, no offensive identity. I don't think Vrabel stays with this team. I don't think you can get past what happened, not because of what he did. That's his private life, but because he did it with a reporter that he was leaking to. I just can't see how Gillette goes on with this guy. Bottom line, I thought the winners drafted with purpose. I thought the losers drafted with hope. Hope is not a strategy, and hope is how you get beat on Sundays and get fired.
Yeah, the Patriots certainly had to reload, especially on their offensive line, and they did that in the first round with getting Caleb Lomu. But he was personally from my board. It was one of my lower offensive linemen, especially in the first round. Another offensive lineman that went really low, really high that I was not expecting was Blake Miller out of Clemson. Went to the Lions at 17. I didn't think that pick was very good. The Lions, they did need offensive lineman help. However, it kind of reached with Miller. They could have easily gotten Monroe Fearling, who just went 2 picks later. But Saxman, what were some of your surprising picks, or some of your picks that you thought were really good, especially in the first round, or if you also want to go into the second or third round as well?
Well, as I said last week, I like Mendoza. I think he's a great kid and a good quarterback. 1-1, I'm just not sold on for the Raiders when I think they need something. I mean, I don't know if they're going to go with Kirk Cousins and then bring this kid along for a couple of years. Okay, but I'm just not sold on that guy as a franchise quarterback, and I hope I'm wrong for the kid. I'm just trying to analyze this because he was so new on this scene. And I don't see him as a Joe Burrow kind of talent to be taken, through the Heisman National Championship 1-1 pick. Maybe I just didn't see enough of the games that he played in, but I think the system more than anything else was the key to his success, and he played well in the system. So can he adjust to the NFL? Yeah, I think he can, but I don't know what the timeline is. So I'm not that sold on Mendoza just yet. Frankly, I like what the Jets were able to do. They piled up some really good. I like some of their draft picks. It's so, if you go back in the previous drafts and you say, okay, who are the hits and the misses and the busts and this kind of stuff, you're throwing darts at a board sometimes, because what you can run through all the metrics, all the stat lines and the hand sizes and the arm reach and overanalyze these kids athletically. But when you put pads on them and make them perform in and week out, do the work in the film room. Who does that? The one that stood out to me, because we've had these conversations offline, chirping on the Steelers and not getting Lemon, and how he was stolen from them or sniped, whatever the term they're using. He was on the line with the Steelers. I'm thinking, God, the Steelers didn't pick up this kid, because his post pick interview on ESPN was a disaster.
It was bad. It was bad.
Was absolutely stoned out of his mind. And I'm thinking, God, that we didn't get him. Now, maybe I was wrong. Maybe it didn't happen. Maybe he was just he's just a space cadet. I have no idea. But we need something for the Steelers. We need something in the trenches. And the kid out of Arizona State has great feet and a lot of upside. And I like the pick. I think there's.
What was that stat you said yesterday, Chris, on the Virginia gang about where he ranked among offensive linemen? It was 22 out of
Yeah, he was number since 1987. He was rated as number 26 out of 1,800 offensive linemen.
Jeez.
Just on how he graded out. And I love some of the tape on him. But look, we all get trapped in rooting for our own teams, seeing the upsides of these kids, but we never see the intangibles. How hard they work in the offseason, how hard they work in the film room, and that work ethic. Because that's what takes you from the elite athleticism, which all these guys have, to being an elite performer in the NFL.
Yeah,
it's hard work. It's just hard work. Michael Jordan was a talented basketball player, but he outworked everybody. Kobe Bryant outworked everybody, and that's never given in the intangibles. You can run a 4.3, but if you don't do the work in the offseason or at night, Kyler Murray, playing video games, you're not going to make it in the NFL. Yeah, I was not happy with the Steelers picking the first one whatsoever. Doesn't mean I don't think that the Max Inahechor cannot be a good player. However, we did kind of get embarrassed by allowing the Eagles to jump ahead of us and pick one of the best players in the draft nonetheless. However, the Steelers were still able to get a very good receiver in the second round in Jermaine Burton.
But with the Eagles stealing our pick and what's happening in the Flyers series, don't you just hate Philadelphia even more right now?
It's not possible to hate Philadelphia even more. There's just a level set, pure ungodly hatred for Philadelphia.
I won't even. I won't even use Philadelphia cream cheese anymore. I know it's not made there, but the names. I'm giving up cheesesteaks, giving up Yingling. I know that it's Yingling's Pottsville, but that's still close enough. I'm sticking with Permanis and Icy Light, guys.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do. You're from Pittsburgh, damn it.
Yeah.
You don't need Philadelphia. You're a Sheets guy, okay? That's just where you're born. Look, Philadelphia is a great organization. Doesn't mean the only time I would ever root for them is when they play the Cowboys, because the Cowboys are just at a different level of hatred, and it goes back to the 50 years.
Well, they're implicated in all this too.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised.
Why do you think the Cowboys would have traded with a team in their own division to allow them to?
So there's a theory about the Brendan. Do you want to tackle that?
Whatever. If you want to tackle it, Dan.
Sure. At least the people are claiming that this is a long-standing grudge on Jerry Jones's part for what the Steelers did to get Ryan Shazier, I think back in 2013. Yep. That seems like a long time to be and a long time to wait to get payback. But that's at least what people are saying is like, oh, this is payback for what the Steelers did to the Cowboys in 2013.
Jerry Jones does seem like the guy that would hold like long-term grudges, don't you think? So, I mean, that's not...
It's worked out so well for him.
I worry that he wouldn't remember that happened at this point.
I think it's great that a guy with that level of lack of performance, lack of championships would continue to do this and help out a division rival who you have to play twice a year to help them get better. If you're thinking we'll take out the AFC team and screw the Steelers, go for it. I'll take that shot every day if the Eagles prevent you from getting to the playoffs.
But you know what's even crazier? The Cowboys had the opportunity to draft T.J. Watt back in 2017, and they picked some guy that nobody even remembers. They needed an edge rusher at the time. They passed on T.J. Watt.
Oh, I was turning cartwheels when I saw T.J. Watt because I knew the pedigree, right? He's J.J.'s brother. Yeah, this guy's going to be a stud.
That was the first thing I said. I said if he's half as good as his brother, because J.J. was so dominant at that time, and we'll be great.
Loved it.
Saxy, I'm glad that you had the reaction to that post-draft interview. I'm glad I'm not the only one who just thought, boy, this guy just doesn't sound like he's all there. So
he's not.
I was.
Apparently, some of the posts on X, and I don't know what's true and what's not these days. He was going to be drug tested by the NFL. It was so bad.
Ugh.
He looked positively stoned out of his gourd.
Well, now I think I'm more worried that the Steelers wanted him in the first place.
That's what I was just going to say. Isn't that kind of what the Steelers have done for years?
It's like we dodged another wide receiver bullet here with these guys.
Yeah,
he'll be hanging out with Le'Veon Bell.
Are there other teams in this draft, or
no.
We covered everything
for the next 10 hours?
Yeah, we'll
as he says in Uniontown, Pennsylvania.
We can do Maryland Terps and Tennessee Titans football and have all of 7 people listening, including the 5 on the screen.
Once again, you listen to Godzilla.
Terps won last night. Terps won 18-10.
They didn't tell us. We'd have no idea.
They beat Essex Community College.
No, they beat Michigan State.
I'm your host, Logan Powell.
They got out of the basement of the Big Ten.
How good.
Oh my goodness,
John! I think you have an app you need to promote here.
Well, what do you mean? I have an app. If any of you guys haven't downloaded this app, you're automatically fired after this show. You've got to go and download our app on WVS on WV Sports Nation. All you have to do is go to your App Store or Google Play, WV Sports Nation, which is the #1 app you're going to find in West Virginia in covering everything West Virginia athletics. If you have an iPhone, easy, just go to the App Store, put in WV Sports Nation. The whole process is going to take you about a half a minute. And then if you have an Android, just go to Google Play and WV Sports Nation. Download our app. It's easy to do. And then everything is there. You're not worrying about, trying to go to WVSportsNation.com. You kind of forget about some of the things that's going on there. Once your app is there, you can sign up. You can get alerts, and we cover everything. So you're going to love our app. Please download it. It'll take you a minute. We need a lot of downloads. So help us out and download it. Dan, Brendan, Chris, and Logan. Download the app. We know who's downloaded the app, and we know who's not. So don't be naughty. Download the app. Takes you 30 seconds, right? Otherwise, you know what? There's Dan, my man. All right, thank you. See, there's the app
and
on the
I evidently
phone.
had downloaded it already.
You downloaded it already. Now we got Logan downloaded. Saxman didn't download the app. Saxman didn't download the app. Unbelievable.
I don't have the capabilities.
Hey, John, I even sent it to my family group chat to get them all to download it.
Get them all to download that app. Just do WV Sports Nation on your Google Play or in the App Store and download the app. We put a lot of money and effort in it, and I'd appreciate everybody doing that. We're very excited about it.
I'm very excited about where you are right now, JF. I'm very excited.
I got to tell you, man.
I love
Ann
this
and
coming in. The view cannot be beat.
After a month on these bus tours, and Saxman knows, they're very tiring. And Ann is like, we have got to get away. So somebody recommended this place. It's called the Summit Hill Inn.
The Summit Inn.
In the Summit Inn.
Outside of Uniontown.
Just outside of Uniontown. And I think we're in Farmingdale.
Yeah.
Or Farmington. And as soon as we got here and got out of the car,
not far from Ohio Pile, very close to Jamonville. You got to go see the chapel there.
Immediate decompression. Then the most beautiful thing is got the mountains here. We opened up the windows, which we can't really do in DC because of the cat. We opened up the windows. Breeze is coming in. 4:30 a.m. We heard birds singing outside. Had a cup of coffee and was asleep. Just can't beat it. And the food.
That place
fantastic.
is like The Shining too. It shuts down for the winter.
The Shining. Why'd you bring that up?
It's true.
Going fine.
All right, John, I'm glad you're in a very beautiful part of the country with a great view.
Red rum.
No, I'm going to be thinking about The Shining tonight. We're having such a good time.
Johnny.
Red rum.
Oh my God!
All work and no play makes John.
That's right. Yeah, John's next essay for the site.
I know, but Ann was like, "We got to get out of it. We just got to go to DC."
Well, you picked a great place to go.
I had nothing to do with it.
All right. Well, let's move on to this actual sports topic here, and let's move aside from John's beautiful view in a great part of the country he's in. I'll go and start with you, John. Let's go with some winners and also your loser for a team in the NFL draft. I knew you had some at the beginning that you thought were really good, but just give me like one or two winner or losers and why you thought that they are that in the draft.
The tiers to me, it's not even close in this. Remember, it's only been 2 days, but the big winner, as I said, is the Bills. I mean, they finally got serious about trying to build talent around a guy who maybe's got a couple of seasons left at the top of his game, and that's Josh Allen. I thought they were the big winner. I thought the second big winner in this draft was the Eagles. I think the Eagles really improved themselves as you look around. The biggest losers are the Vikings. I just don't know what the hell they're doing half the time. Now, I agree.
I say that every year, actually.
I say that every year, and every year I'm
Vikings,
right. Yeah, it's just easy to pick. They have the worst draft because I don't know what's going on in their front office, but just not good. But I tell you what, a lot of people criticize the Ty Simpson pick for the Rams at number 13. Got a lot of criticism, win now, etc. There is a reason why the Rams are a consistent winner because they think they got the talent to get to the Super Bowl. They might add some couple guys on free agency, also building for the future. They wanted Ty Simpson. He fits their culture. He fits the offense. They wanted him to go 2 seasons under Stafford, learn under Stafford. I thought that was a classic Sean McVay pick. You know what? I'm playing for the Super Bowl now. I got the talent to get there, but I'm going to take this guy because I think he's my guy after Stafford when Stafford retires. So I really thought that was a great pick. If you're the Rams, and look, how do you argue with Sean McVay? All the guy does is win. It's tough to argue with their organization.
I don't think it was his pick. Everything about the body language at the presser was like he was not happy with it.
Which is interesting because why would the GM go to McVay and say that he, we're taking this guy whether you want to or not, especially the status that Sean McVay has gotten to in the league at this point.
Because his title is general manager. If Sean McVay wants to be the general manager, then he should go to the owners and petition for that job. You have protocol. He's the general manager,
right?
And he has built consistent winners in LA. He has a vision, and Sean McVay maybe wanted to win now, but I thought it was. I think when you look back at this pick that everybody's really questioning, I think it's going to turn out to be a brilliant pick. And we can argue about he should have traded up or down. They did the same thing with the Titans. They should have traded down. They could. All my Titans nation saying, "Oh, he could have been the 7th pick. Maybe we get another pick in the 4th round." I mean, look, they wanted a receiver. They picked him. Move on. Build your team from there.
Yeah, and John, I actually agree with you 100% on this Rams pick. For me, they're the biggest winner to this point in the draft for me for that reason. They did what my Steelers should have done at the end, for Ben Roethlisberger. You don't wait until your franchise quarterback is officially retired before you start preparing for the future. They know Matt Stafford's got another, maybe 2 years at best before he hangs it up. So they're preparing for the future, bringing in Ty Simpson to learn under him for a couple years, hoping that he's going to be their next franchise quarterback. I mean, it's a no-brainer for teams to do this, but we did not get the concept in Pittsburgh.
Steelers kind of tried to with Mason Rudolph, but Ben Roethlisberger wasn't having anything of it.
That's it. That's a good observation, Dan. It seemed like back then I wasn't a Steelers fan, but it seemed like they tried. Because he came with a lot of fanfare, it just didn't pan out. Hey, I want to mention one other thing, if I may. Ann and I watched the draft until I fell asleep. I think it was about the 18th round. But the level, I just have to say this, the level of young men in there that honored God and Christ was unbelievable. The level of Christian aid by player after player after player, thanking God, thanking the Lord and Savior. I don't think I've ever seen it to this degree. We've talked about, and I don't want to get into culture, but we've talked about the number of young men in this country coming to Christ, coming to God, doing it in there's no, me and men rallies with Glenn Beck and all that stuff. They're just doing it. And it's just after the other, praising the Lord. I mean, the young fellas in there praising their parents, their fathers. One of their fathers died. He says, I prayed him when I get up. I prayed him when I go to bed. The one kid that the Titans picked, his mom had just died. He had her picture and her name in the front of his jacket. You wanted to cry. I mean, it was like, there is a revival. And these are all kids that are going to make a ton of money, right? It's easy to get in the material world. So many of them have come to Christ. And I thought that was one of the most uplifting things I've seen in a while, and made this draft really successful.
Yeah, I'd say the football is probably the most religious sport there is. A lot of religious men in that sport, but because it's a sport that's dominated in the South, and that's kind of where the Bible Belt is, so it makes sense. But Saxman, you're making some faces during the Ty Simpson pick. Give me your insight on that. Also, if you had any other losers, or if you think it's a winner, any other winners?
I have a very difficult time questioning talent evaluators when I don't evaluate that talent at that level. And this is, as an objective observer, I can only go on collective wisdom that you read everywhere and what people are chirping on. However, when you draft in the first round a quarterback who had a very successful year versus a career in Ty Simpson, you take a gamble. And that's just what the Rams did on Ty Simpson. I think he's only had 15 starts. And as a first-round pick, again, it's a value proposition for me. I think Mendoza could be a franchise quarterback, but the downside is more than the upside for me at 1-1. Same thing goes for Ty Simpson. First-round draft pick? I don't think so, just because he hasn't had the reps. And I think Sean McVay, his expressions and his attitude was like, that's not what this team needs, but I'm going to have to work with Les Snead, my GM, and get it done, because I had Stetson Bennett lined up in case Matthew Stafford gets hurt. So if you want to load up the quarterback room, okay. But I don't think that was clearly part of the Sean McVay plan going into day one. So when that's what kind of look at look, it's not, the reason we're talking about it is because there's controversy. There is disagreement. There wasn't a stone cold lock for the Rams because they're a quality football team. They don't have that many holes.
Yeah,
so when I look at who did really well in the first 2 days of the draft, how many wins did a team get? And I look at Cleveland Brown going, oh God, they're stacking up the wide receiver room, and that's a problem. And
they got that safety.
They'll screw it up somehow. They always do.
They got that safety in the second round. Really good pick.
Yeah, and then you look at what the Jets did, picking up the edge rusher from T-Tech, because he's going to be going after Drake May twice a year. And I like that as someone in the AFC, but I want someone putting pressure on the New England Patriots quarterback, Drake May. So, and I think the Jets did themselves some. They got some really good talent in that team, and hopefully they can unbrand their crap brand like what the Giants did. They had a lot of talent coming in there that's going to help that ball club with Harbaugh now at the helm. So, I try to get past all the numbers that they throw at us at 4-3, but I like the Sonny Styles kid out of Ohio State. I think he's going to be a dominant player. I think he's looking at Hall of Fame status just on his intellect, not necessarily his athletic ability. So, it's a complicated league. We're seeing what the NFL does. It's a salary cap league that distributes talent equally amongst teams who manage their salary cap and their revenues accordingly, and everyone's going to wind up 9-7, 7-9.
Well, that's what makes the league so successful. It's like a team can go from last place, like New England, and get in the Super Bowl. Well, if you say what teams picked up wins, obviously the Raiders, right? There's no doubt about it. That was with the first round pick. I think they had 3 wins, 2 wins. They'll get more. Right. But I thought the other team that if you said who picked up wins, it's got to be the Cardinals. I mean, they got probably the most explosive player in this draft at pick 3, coming out of that backfield, catching passes. I mean, they probably got 2 wins there, and as many problems as the Cardinals have. I thought that was a really good pick, and I think he's going to be exciting.
For the Cardinals, they didn't really need running back. They have James Conner. However, Jeremiah Love is the best player in the draft, hands down. So if you're a team like the Cardinals, who just is not a good team, who's going to be in the top 5 pick next year for quarterback, go ahead and get the best player in the draft and build around him as well. I know running backs are not highly valued in the league. He's already going to be the highest paid running back in the league just based off his guaranteed money after getting picked number 3. But he's the best player in the draft, hands down. Elite on the ground, also good in the passing game. Great player overall. I personally think the Rams pick was absolutely terrible. I think it was one of, if not the worst pick in the whole draft. They were in win now mode, and somehow they still did not improve whatsoever their chances of winning Super Bowl this year. If they wanted to get a quarterback for the future, they could have gone next year in a much heavier QB class. Ty Simpson is not very good. I mean that he's only played 1 year. He started 1 year in college. His deep ball accuracy is not that good. He kind of just stands in the pocket. Not someone I would have picked. Their own head Sean McVay was not happy whatsoever. Ty Simpson literally called when they called. They were like, "Let's go win, coach." He's like, "Yeah, have a good night. Have a good night."
Well, maybe that's why the Rams had the attitude of "F them picks" for so long, so they couldn't screw it up. He has to feel pretty good. I mean, Ty Simpson's a winner. He couldn't have asked to go to a better situation, I don't think, to learn behind Matt Stafford and to learn under Sean McVay. Look, he's the type of quarterback, if he's going to succeed, it's going to be in an NFC West or an NFC South type sort of division. He didn't have the arm strength to go to the NFC North or the AFC East or certainly the AFC North. So playing where he's playing, he has a puncher's chance, I think, at least at doing pretty well. But you're right. It was a bit of a confounding pick for a team that is in win now mode with Matt Stafford, the defending league MVP. I mean, you say he has only a couple of years left. I don't know. I mean, I'm still shocked that Tom Brady retired. I mean, why did he retire? He can still play.
Yeah,
reigning. He had the best year
of his career,
and he's 38. And we got guys playing when they're 43, 44. I mean, is it smart for you to pick up a quality quarterback? Do I see what they see? I don't, but I don't have to see what they see. For a pick for me, I'd have filled different holes if I'm the Rams, but they went with a backup quarterback. Okay, that's a great position to be in.
Yep. Well, before we move on real quick, I just want to say that I also think the Bears had a really good draft so far. Dylan Donovan in the first round was exactly what they needed. And then getting Logan Jones in the second round is a very quality interior offensive lineman they desperately needed. So I think they also did really well. The Browns did exceptional. I think so far. But that being said, every NFL athlete probably gets sore from time to time. I think, they say like by Monday, it would say they were in a car accident. That's how much they, get hit and have, pain and stuff. So I think the best way for them to get it better is with Healthy Cell. I hear, a lot of people, their body just doesn't work the way it used to. As you get older, someone like Matthew Stafford, he's 38 years old. He gets hurt. He gets bumps and bruises, and he can't heal as well. So you got to use Healthy Cell.
He's 38. My God, man, he's not dying.
Yeah. One thing that has been a game changer. Well, not necessarily for me. I'm still a young buck, but John, maybe you said,
I would die to be 38 right now.
No kidding. Yeah.
Or at least Phil.
Healthy Cell's joint health and mobility gel. It's an edible gel that combines curcumine, glutamine, crotachine, hyaluronic acid, and omega-3s. Now, I'm not a medical major, so I might have butchered those names.
You did better than I would have.
All sounds very
all
good.
the means.
Sounds like they work.
It's got all the means.
All
the means.
All of which are incredible joint supplements on their own into one easy single serve pack. Joint health and mobility has helped, I'm sure, Saxman and John Fredericks has helped me feel so much better and improve my recovery time after exercise. Go to healthycell.com, promo code Godzilla, all uppercase, get 20% off your next order. Make sure Godzilla, all uppercase, Healthy Cell, get the gels. They sound very good. They sound easy to use and worth a shot. If you have joints, aches and pains, and you're just getting a little bit older, it's worth a shot. Getting old ain't for the weak, so you need to help yourself out. How old are you? That's just what I always hear.
You're chirping at us, and you're what, 22, 23 and a half, maybe? You probably still count your age in halves. That's how young you are.
I'm a young buck. I think I'm the youngest. I think I'm the youngest on this panel. Brendan, how old are you? Like
26. I'll be 27 in a few months.
All right. I'm the youngest in the group by a couple years. Let's move on to speaking of. Probably definitely a little bit of an age gap here in this controversy is Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel.
Yeah.
Very interesting, involving saga that it seems like that every single day new evidence is turning out. And by the way, you're listening to Godzilla Wins. I'm your host, Logan Powell, alongside Chris Saxman, Brendan Statler, Dan Hopgood, and the Mr. Godzilla himself, John Fredericks. But it seems like every single day there's new evidence coming out of this like possible relationship. It seems to have been going on for at least 6 or 7 years, where now you possibly have Diana Rossini naming her first son Michael after the possible person that she's cheating on her husband with. That doesn't look good. I don't know. They were
a trip to Maury.
They were seen in a bar 6 years ago. Man, have you been keeping up with this? What is going on? What is your opinion on this? I gotta ask.
Well, I'll start here. The interesting thing was, if you go back, and I mentioned this on our show, JF, that there's some interesting quotes from Vrabel about how much he wanted to win a Super Bowl and what he was willing to give up for a Super Bowl, including, let's say, maybe parts of his own anatomy if he had to. and when somebody said in response, like, "Whoa," someone said, "Well, I've been married 20 years. I ain't like I use it anymore," and that sort of thing. And so there were some clues from a few years back that maybe the marriage was a bit loveless. So I guess I'm not terribly surprised to find out that something like this was going on. Of course, with whom and for how long, and what may have been involved as far as the trade secrets go. That's probably where he could be in some professional trouble. But yeah,
I don't think he makes it. I don't think Gillette's going to put up with this. And here's the problem. it's not the affair allegedly per se, right? What goes on between a man and a woman as you get older and you have a lot of friends, what goes on is really none of your business. People, stay with their wives for their children for whatever reason, and that's their decision. And I have nothing to do with it, and I don't judge lest I be judged. So I have no opinion on his outside relationship or the problem he got. Because I'm going to talk here as just the problem he's got is the fact that he leaked information to a New York Times reporter for a long period of time, giving her insider info that progressed her career,
Allegedly.
leaked over other people because they didn't have a relationship. Allegedly, I mean, he was seen kissing her and stuff. That all these photos come out. I don't. And that no one knows that he was in love with. I mean, it happens in Congress all the time. We saw it in Georgia with two Congress people. I mean, it happens. You fall in love with people. That's fine. It's none of my business. The fact that it was with a New York Times reporter with The Athletic that's owned by the New York Times who got inside information which catapulted her career ahead, where the integrity of the whole thing comes in, and that's where I don't think he's going to be able to survive it. Chris.
Yes, just remember this is all allegedly. None of
Right.
this
It's all alleged.
confirmed.
But it alleged enough for him to walk away from the team today,
Right.
go back to
Yeah.
family,
and for her to quit her job.
And then she got fired. And then she got fired. They had to fire her. The New York Times company had no choice. You got to fire her. And then he's going to counseling. So it's alleged, but it's all unraveling, and it's a distraction to the team for no reason. I mean, you want to leave your wife. I mean, I know Saxon and I know so many people, guys that are in a marriage who stay there, but it's not really a marriage. It's
Partnership.
Yeah.
for their children, and that's just not my business. Their business. I never judge or get involved in it, ever. But this is different because of the leaked information, I think.
Sax, what do you think it means for women in sports media? There's been a lot of, especially recently, where things have come out where some women have done certain things to move up in the top, and I know it doesn't. It's not always the case at all. A lot of women, someone like Doris Burke, she is someone who worked her ass off, played in the WNBA, I'm pretty sure, coached, and she is a great announcer for NBA. She worked her butt off, but then you have a woman like Diana Rossini, who possibly has had a relationship with a NFL head coach to get news breaking stories that puts her over the edge of other fellow journalists. So what does it mean for women in sports media, where it's already a tough business to crack into if you're a woman going forward?
Well, it is a difficult industry, and you're surrounded by the alpha males of all alpha males, right? And they play at a very competitive, dangerous, risk-taking sport or industry, however you want to term it. And this is going to come with that occupation in that industry. Just level setting this whole thing. Like, what do you expect? You put attractive men and attractive women together. Over time, sparks are going to start flying, especially when it's in high intensity, very pressure-filled industries. People are going to behave like people. To John's points, but within the industry itself, you have to have some level of internal regulation, so it doesn't harm the shield, as the NFL is super focused on, is protecting the shield. To John's point, I don't think Vrabel is going to be ousted as a result of this. He's winning. He does the most important thing in the NFL. He wins. And I think people are going to excuse that and look past it like they did with every other guy who wins. They go, well,
And remember what the owner himself had to do.
Yeah.
No, the owner
Pot
did
calling kettle
no.
black.
Stop.
No,
No,
he
the
didn't.
guy's wife died, and he went to a massage parlor. Stop. Okay, that's nothing to do with what Vrabel did. Okay, that was just.
No, this is not about Robert Kraft's infidelities. It's about going to a massage parlor.
His wife died. His wife was dead.
I don't care if his wife died. My God, he went to a
60
massage
years.
parlor.
I mean, come on, stop.
No, not stop. This is the
Who
problem
cares?
where you have to have self-regulation. Nobody cares why, because Robert Kraft wins, and it's his team. And
No,
he's the
because
owner,
his
and he
wife
looks at all
died. He
the
went
other
to
owners
massage.
and goes,
Not like he was having an affair with reporter
I'm not
leaking
condemning
information.
the man, John. I'm not condemning the man. I'm just saying that nothing happened to him either.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
my
that shouldn't
point.
have happened. He didn't do anything.
Well,
He went to
just
massage parlor. Who
and
cares?
JF,
Hell,
all
did
I would
just
say,
nothing's going to happen to
yeah,
Vrabel.
JF, all I would say is
Nothing
that if
We
happened to
don't
Kraft.
agree. I
if
don't
he
think.
fires-
I don't
if
think
he
Vrabel.
fires
I don't think
Kraft-
Vrabel makes it. I don't.
if he
I don't
fires
think makes it.
Vrabel, that's the
But
first thing
question-
people
the
will throw
question
back
that
in his
was-
face.
The question that was put to me was about Rossini and the impact on the female journalists covering this very super alpha male sport, and it's going to be difficult. Obviously, she has been removed from her position at the New York Times Athletic because she was apparently engaged in getting information, literally pay for play information about what was going on in the NFL to advance her career, which is a big no-no. Okay, fine. But this is part of the reality of life and living in the modern age, and it's nothing new, quite frankly. And I think you're going to have more self-regulation from within, and the teams are going to be more attuned to it, and they're going to be watching this stuff more and more. At the end of the day, to John's point, not for me to judge. Life is long, God is good. May they both seek and be granted forgiveness for whatever sins they may or may not have committed. I have no idea. However, this stinks to the high heaven. It doesn't help the Patriots, and this is where we are.
Yeah, I don't think anything's going to happen whatsoever. I think there's one organization that doesn't really care about off the field issues. Is the Patriots.
And let's be honest, the NFL. I mean, there have been players that have done way worse that have gotten away with almost nothing happening to them. So, from domestic violence issue.
Now the question comes in when we saw the pictures from what was it 2020 or something, right? Pictures in the bar where he's
like 2016.
I mean, it goes way back. Now the question comes in when you have owner or
Dramatic pause.
Now
the key question is
nothing.
I was drawn in.
And here's what happened to Jimmy Hoffa.
Here's what actually happened to Robert Kraft.
I finally figured out what was said on that missing 18 minutes of Watergate tape. It was
actually 6 years ago, and they were in a bar, and they were, Godzilla's back. But no, this is a evolving story that new things are coming out every single day. And the reason why I say
because people are putting together, there's a lot of public information out there that's readily available. People they're going to the videotape and going, okay, what's going on here? And it's sad. It's sad and distracting, and I feel for the families involved. Hopefully this will lead to better outcomes for everyone. But the NFL and sports leagues, they're going to step up their oversight and accountability game. The problem for Vrabel is I think it's counter to what he was preaching in the locker room.
Yeah.
And
no distractions.
That's a distraction.
Accountability.
He's got to show his accountability, not just say, I take full responsibility. What the hell does that mean? What have you? I've never understood that. I take full responsibility. No, I get a promotion, right? No, you have to go in there and take real accountability and make real changes if that's what you're doing, or say, look, this is the path I'm going to go down, and this is the decision I've made, and I'll let the chips fall where they may, and I'll deal with the consequences afterwards. That's just the nature of life and living. But the problem for Vrabel is he set a higher standard. Apparently, I don't know what he said about these things internally, but he's had a very robust life. Let's just be honest. He was a prankster, boys in the locker room, but he's a great coach and he wins. And I think that gets you a pass in the NFL.
That's the big equalizer. Yeah. I mean, it's like Jimmy Johnson said years ago, if Troy Aikman falls asleep in a team meeting, somebody nudge Troy, wake him up. If it's the third string offensive tackle or whatever else he's cut. I mean, this happens to Urban Meyer. He's out of a job. This happens to the guy who was just in the Super Bowl. My guess is he's probably okay.
Or like with
for better or worse.
what was his name? Bud Phillips? Is that the
Bum Phillips.
Bum Phillips, who said about
Bum
Earl
Phillips
Campbell.
from the Oilers.
He would like Earl Campbell runs the slowest mile run. He's like, well, if it's third down and a mile, I'll get someone else to run the ball.
But the whole thing with Vrabel to remember. I mean, this isn't the worst thing that has ever happened in the NFL. I mean, and Vrabel's a guy that hasn't really been controversial. That this is the first controversy he's really been wrapped in. I mean, I think we're all on the same page. At the end of the day, we don't care about the affair, but the leaking of information is where he went wrong completely in this.
That's what actually happened.
It's not the worst thing that somebody has ever done in this league. So to say that the Patriots are going to get rid of him because it's a distraction,
I think
we're at that stage yet.
I think we can all agree this is probably one of the worst examples of crisis management we've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just they just keep changing the story, and then I'll go to counseling, all this kind of stuff. It's like that's not the accountability that your team.
This is like the most New England Patriot thing ever. I mean, there's got to be some kind of controversy in the off season. It's every year. There's got to be something.
Well, it's just
they thrive on this.
Well, they also have a level of scrutiny. They have a level of scrutiny that no one cares about when it comes to other teams that just don't get there and do much. They just don't, and they're going to draw more scrutiny. It's a big media market, but yeah, the allegation of offering up inside information, it's problematic.
I feel bad for the families
100%,
involved. Mike Vrabel's wife and his I think one son, and then Diana Rossini and her husband, and they have 2 younger boys. And I'm pretty sure it was Diana Rossini's husband who reportedly, allegedly
hired the PI.
Hired a PI, and that's who caught them at the
in Arizona
event. It was the head coach's clinic, and yes, they were at a pool together by themselves. They were holding hands.
When you go in public, it's like, really, what are you talking about here, guy? That's a level of risk that,
especially when you're somebody that's recognized very easily. You know what I mean?
You're a
People
public
know who
figure.
you are.
You're a public figure, and so is she. And frankly, that's not the. You beg at that point. You delve into the subconscious.
You're begging for trouble.
You're begging to get caught because you're just not happy.
You might as well slap it on a billboard right along the freeway.
Well, I mean, it's.
I mean, come on.
If it's counter to what he was preaching, then it's the issue of hypocrisy. But if he can maintain the locker room, he'll maintain his job. That's what it's going to come down to.
And I think he will.
And they're going to need to because the Patriots. I mean, they're on the cusp of being a really good team. I mean, they just made it. I forget exactly where they made it, but
they played in the Super Bowl.
Make it to the.
I'll say they
laid
the
AFC. No, they made it to the Super Bowl. Yeah, they made it to the Super Bowl.
You follow
with a hurt quarterback. I mean,
Logan, do you follow the NFL?
I have a bad memory.
But before the Super Bowl, New England was dominant. All year, they were the best team in football.
They were very good until they lost to the Steelers.
Yeah, somehow we beat them, and my goodness, if not for the choking like dogs against the Seahawks, we'd have beaten the Seahawks too.
Yeah. They didn't choke against the Seahawks. Seahawks beat the crap out of them.
Yeah, Seahawks beat us.
Will Campbell had like 7 sacks.
The
Seahawks
Steelers game.
That stupid kickoff.
There's the kick. The rookie, Caleb Johnson or whatever else, he bungled the kickoff.
He botched.
And what's his name? Roman Wilson ran the wrong route in the end zone. The Steelers kind of were in control of that game. Yeah,
I was against the Seahawks like week 2 or 3.
John is losing his mind listening to this right now. He's like, we're back on Pittsburgh sports again.
Yeah, we talk about.
I just wanted to say one more thing about Vrabel, which.
Go ahead.
Which
this is what he played for the Steelers.
Well, no, this is what Ann said to me on the way here when I don't know how the conversation came up. We watch the Titans a lot, and she's like, you know what? When these pictures came out, is it possible? Because you know how prim and proper the Titans are, and how Amy is, right? Been married up 50 years, and this the whole organization is.
I think I know what this is.
They don't put up with anything. Ann's like, is it
possible they covered it?
Is it possible that Amy knew about this and fit what her vision? I don't know, but that's what Ann said. Like, if you know.
Wow, this is essential.
This is if my
And how
bet
tough
Saturday
she
morning.
is.
I can remember in a
And
long
how-
time.
This is compelling radio if ever there was it. Stay tuned to Godzilla Wins, where next segment we'll almost give you all the answers to your questions.
John, send us an email.
I'll
We'll
tell you
read
one
it
thing. If there's
aloud.
one thing the Browns have successfully done in recent
just
memory
happy to be here.
is keep this under wraps, because Mike Vrabel was on the coaching staff on the Browns in 2024, and this has been going on for anywhere from 4 to 6 years. So arguably one of the best things the Browns have done in recent memory is keep the Mike Vrabel possible cheating allegation scandal with one of the most prominent NFL reporters under wraps. Great job by the Browns. But John, let's try and finish your thought here. What were you exactly saying here?
I think he was talking about how the Titans owner probably knew about this, and one of the reasons why she got rid of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Ann said. She's like, she probably knew, and she probably or not, guys. I have no earthly idea. But she did it and didn't want this to her organization. Look, I don't have a good connection here, so I'm probably out for the second half. I can't seem to get a stable internet wherever.
Enjoy the time at Summit Inn, man. I am jealous that you're there. I can just see that beautiful vista, that view from the top of the mountain, looking down upon my father's home. So yeah.
But John, you might be right about the ownership of the Titans, which obviously, the Browns don't have a problem with.
Yeah, not the best internet for Mr. Godzilla himself today. Before we hop off for the first hour, we'll be back on the second hour, approximately around 10:02. I'm your host, Logan Powell, alongside Chris Saxon, Brent Stadler, Dan Hopgood. Probably would not be with John Fredericks in the second hour. His internet was obviously not the greatest, but before we hop off here, we made sure we talked about the NFL draft. We all had our picks for like some of the best ones. I think that the Browns personally had a really good draft. I think the Cowboys did very well in the first round, getting some much needed defensive help. Godzilla himself was not happy with the Vikings whatsoever. I agree. I don't think the Vikings are never really that good at drafting.
Vikings suck at drafting every year. It's comical.
Yeah. Another team that I didn't think performed that well in the first round specifically was the Dolphins. I think they reached with Caden Proctor at 12, especially when they could have just not traded with the Cowboys and would have gotten the best safety in recent memory in the draft in Caleb Downs, but the Cowboys were able to get him after they traded up. So that was very good for the Cowboys. But obviously, we talked about the Steelers. We are all Steelers fans here on here, and
rock on.
We have mixed reviews on the Steelers' first round pick. I am on board of I hate it. I think that we should have gotten Makai 11, but to each their own.
Maybe you have a cannabis outlet somewhere that I'm not aware of, but to each his own.
I don't hate the pick. It just feels like deja vu. It seems like every first round we take a tackle with the last name nobody can pronounce. It's like
just like every
let's
year.
Just get it right this year, guys.
Endless cycle. But 10 o'clock, top of the hour. We'll see y'all in about 2 minutes. You listen to Godzilla Wins.
West Virginia Sports Nation gives you a top-of-the-mountain view of the Mountaineers sports landscape. See what's happening in all the sports, far beyond football, basketball, and baseball. Gymnastics, track and field, rowing, swimming and diving, golf, volleyball, tennis. More sports, more stories. If the Mountaineers play the game, WVSportsNation.com has it covered. Up-to-date and insightful articles written by Mountaineers for Mountaineers Nation. WVSportsNation.com. WVSportsNation.com. WVSportsNation.
The best part about waking up in the morning is a great cup of coffee, and I get this every day with my 1775 coffee. It's rich, it's bold, best tasting coffee I've ever had. Single origin, farmed in Bolivia, 7,000 feet. It's always fresh, roasted daily. This is the best coffee you're ever going to get. Go to 1775coffee.com, 1775coffee.com. Promo code Godzilla, 10% off. It's going to make your day every day.
You woke up with a sore throat and a low-grade fever. You know you are getting sick, so here's your choices. You can get sicker and miss work. Try to see a doctor this week or sit hours in a crowded waiting room at urgent care.
I have a smarter option for you. Open your medical emergency kit. Match your symptoms to doctor-recommended prescription in your booklet and take the right meds now and get well faster.
This is not a first aid kit. It's like having an urgent care in your home. It includes doctor-prescribed medications to treat over 39 medical issues like respiratory infections, strep throat, pneumonia, UTIs, and more.
No waiting to see the doctor and no standing in line at the pharmacy. It's right here.
Every home should have at least one medical emergency kit, and here's how to order.
Order online fast and save $45. Your kit with prescriptions to treat common and life-saving illnesses is rushed to your door. Visit twc.health/Godzilla. Promo code Godzilla. That's twc.health/Godzilla. Promo code Godzilla.
John Frederick, your Godzilla of truth, fiercely independent.
No ties to Wall Street, I promote Main Street.
The John Frederick Media Network, privately owned and operated, on top of the issues on air and online.
Trucking the truth every day for 14 years.
The John Frederick Show drives your morning, weekdays 6 to 10 a.m. Eastern. The only independent White House correspondent with live reports from the White House. Hit JohnFredericksRadio.com. Watch at JFMN.tv. John Frederick, your Godzilla of truth.
Who's going to stop me now?
Nobody. John Fredericks, he's America's Godzilla of truth. All week long, he's world-renowned for his proficient proclivity to prophesy the people's political picks with pinpoint precision.
Yeah, baby.
Then, on the weekends, he gets with the guys that are pretty wise, and Godzilla wins. Godzilla Wins, the sports picking show for winning dough. Money lines, parlays, over-under, the best plays. You choose the game, Godzilla picks the winners. Get expert analysis, exclusive insights, and have a little fun. When the game is on your mind and money's on the line, Godzilla Wins is your guide to picking winners. Godzilla Wins, on the screens of your TV and favorite devices, commanding radio airwaves far and wide. Before you make that play, hear what the Godzilla crew has to say. Presented by WestVirginiaSportsNation.com, it's time for Godzilla Wins, all across the John Fredericks Media Network. Oh yeah,
For entertainment purposes only.
Well, we got cut off with the coffee. That looked like a very welcome in, Coach Mayako. How you doing this morning, Coach?
Well, licking our wounds after a tough loss yesterday, but we still have a glimmer of hope. Tomorrow, the California Community College Selection Committee gets together, and we're hoping, keeping our fingers crossed, that maybe we can get that one of the last at-large bursts. So stay tuned.
Okay. Well, let us know. Once again, you're listening to Godzilla Wins. This is the second hour. I'm your host, Logan Powell, alongside Chris Saxman, Brendan Statler, Dan Hobgood, and Vince Mayako, coach of Taft College Baseball. And in this second hour, we're going to be discussing some major topics, most notably the NHL playoffs, as well as some key headlines that have happened in the start of the MLB season, as well as college. But before we really get into that, Coach Michael, we heard that it's your final year coaching at Taft College. Just before we get started into our major topics, I'm curious because D1 baseball has had a lot of change recently with NIL and transfer portal. I know every single year, especially in baseball, there's thousands of players that enter the portal, and you are right in the middle of that with JUCO baseball. That is one of the main avenues that players enter the transfer portal and go to Division I. So you, in particular, how have you seen the growth of junior college baseball level in terms of of players entering the portal, especially now with the NIL era?
I think it's slowly, but I think in the next year or two, when teams can actually have to be mandated with the 34-man roster spot. Currently, right now, they've grandfathered in, I think, up to 40, and teams like West Virginia are probably still around 40 on the total roster. But once I think a few classes clear out, then that drops to 34. And I think that's when you'll see the biggest change to junior college baseball, because, a lot of those potentially six other roster spots, where are they going to go? Are they going to go the D2 level, D3, NAI? Well, if they want to keep their D1 dreams alive, they probably are best suited to go the junior college route if they're a freshman with one more year of junior college eligibility. You get into the kids that are, past 2 years of college experience and they're juniors, they bounce around a little more frequently than probably the freshmen. But yeah, I think it's going to have a dramatic impact on junior college baseball nationwide.
Yeah, I mean, especially in baseball, I mean, there's just so many players that enter the portal with NIL and then the portal just increasing now because you can immediately transfer into a new school and not have to sit out a year. Just last year, there was over 6,000 players that entered the portal in college baseball across all levels. That's just absolutely insane to me. I don't know how you can over 6,000 players can find new homes. But I think it's an evolving saga. And coach, I know you've seen probably a lot of things in your days as the head coach at Taft College Baseball, and also I think you were an assistant there as well before you became the head coach. So I'm sure you had an illustrious career, and we're happy to have you on for this second hour. But moving on to NHL playoffs, which I'm pretty sure all of us on are big hockey fans. Besides me, actually, funny enough, I'm just now starting to try and get into hockey. Growing up, I was not a big hockey fan, but a lot of really good series happening right now, folks. Let's just start generally. I mean, I'm looking at Jack's run sheet right now. He has the Avalanche versus the Kings up first. The Avalanche currently leading 3-0. Along with, I didn't even, this is how much of a casual I am. I did not know there was another possible sweep happening besides my amazing, wonderful Penguins. So let's start with the Avalanche most likely completing the sweep on the Kings. It looks like they play on Sunday. Let's start with you, Saxman. Have you been keeping up with this series in particular, or just in general? How do you think this series is going to turn out? And then most likely the Avalanche are going to win. So what do you think their route is to the Stanley Cup?
I don't think anyone was picking the Kings here to win the series, and many of us early on in the playoffs picked the Avalanche to sweep. They're just a complete hockey team. My picks were Carolina and Colorado. They're just really, really good hockey teams. They're fast, furious. They play well. They skate well. They pass well. They hit, and they got great goalies. So, those are the two prohibitive favorites right now. But I've said early on, and I hated saying it, the Flyers were a team on the rise, and they certainly are. As we were talked about with other weeks, they just, there's a couple teams out there, and John's spoken about the Montreal Canadiens. There's just a group of young kids out there with a couple veterans sprinkled in amongst these teams. They just play with a certain level of juice, man, and they're just having fun and playing hard, and it's great to see for the game of hockey. Although I hate to see it because the Flyers, and one of my best friends is a Flyers fan, and I got him a cameo for his birthday from John LeClaire, a longtime Philadelphia Flyers. This is really, really painful for me to watch this happen, but that's the nature of playoff hockey. So Carolina, Colorado are probably the two that are going to make it to the finals, and I don't think anyone's surprised.
Dogs in the background. Brendan, another. Like you just said, Saxon mentioned the Carolina Hurricanes. They're another team who is currently holding a 3-0 lead over the Ottawa Senators, and they're probably also going to get swept. I think they actually played this afternoon on Saturday. So exactly what has made Carolina so good this year, Brendan, and what is making them a leading candidate for the Stanley Cup Finals?
Well, I mean, Carolina gets a little better every year. I mean, they're always in the conversation, but they do still have this curse, this little bugaboo in the third round where they, can't even win a game. They get swept most of the times in the third round within the last, 10, 15 years. So they have to get over that hump first before I'm going to pick them as my Eastern Conference champion to go to the final. Right now, I mean, I think it comes down in the East to Buffalo and Montreal. I think these are the two best teams in the Eastern Conference. And of course, on the West, I mean, how could you not pick Colorado? And hey, but don't sleep on the Minnesota Wild yet. I know they're down 2-1 to Dallas, but Minnesota is really a complete team. I see them coming back and winning this series, and I think that's my final four: Colorado, Minnesota in the West, Buffalo and Montreal in the East.
Okay. Dan, what? I mean, the Penguins have just absolutely crap.
Yeah, they have.
Don't do this to us.
Yeah, they have. Well, I'll take the arrows, guys. It's fine. That's fine. It's you know, you hoped that this year would be a little different with the Pens back in the playoffs. They seem to be playing okay. The thing I question, not that this can be blamed at this point on what's happened, but I didn't like the strategy of resting the players going into that series. I thought that was a mistake. They seem to just kind of be coasting for the last week of the regular season, and I don't know that that's the right mindset psychologically for a team that hadn't been to the playoffs the year before and were trying to get some momentum and show that they were ready to go and ready to play again. And the Flyers have just looked like the clearly better team for in all three games.
Yep.
So it's not even close.
Except for the first period on the third game, and then for some strange blanking reason, Crosby decides to take an embellishment on a high stick to the face, which really wasn't that bad. And then to me, that signaled to the team like we have to cheat to win. And that's not what Sidney Crosby's about. It was his first embellishment penalty of his entire career. And you don't do it in Philadelphia where they hate you anyway. They think you're soft. So that just ignited the crowd and the Flyers, and they just blew their doors off.
I am still so mad about that call because one, like you just mentioned, Sidney Crosby has never had an embellishment penalty in his 21-year career. You mean to tell me he just decided then to take an embellishment penalty? And the Brian Russ situation, how he got the extra penalty after he was elbowed in the face.
Oh yeah,
and the Flyers player kicking at his leg, that should be a suspension and a hefty fine, but our guy gets the extra penalty. I mean, that is the definition of home ice advantage in this one. We already were not playing well. We don't need the referees, deciding the game and taking away our momentum.
For the folks who didn't watch the game, there's probably thousands of them listening to us or watching us online. There were 11 guys in the penalty box at one time.
And Russ got 4 minutes.
The Penguins had 6 in the box, and the Flyers had 5. It got a little chippy, to say the least. So I can't imagine what tonight's going to be like.
Well, unfortunately, the how this series has gone leaves such a bad taste in the mouth of the season. Period. Oh, yeah. You wonder, like, okay, well, should the Pens have just folded for the season and tanked for Gavin McKenna? I mean, I don't know that.
Now I'm saying yes.
Yeah, it feels like what was the point? Yeah, it feels like we're the Steelers. We got into the playoffs and yay!
Now I have to sit here and rely on the Pirates to break the city's playoff victory drought. Like, come on.
Well, I'm sure I'm getting ahead of ourselves, but be mad at Andrew Filipponi, who 6 innings into the game last night started. You probably know.
That's not a curse, Coach. Let's talk about the curse. Can you break someone's no or perfect game by talking about it? The answer is obviously no.
Yes.
Every time Filipponi makes a prediction, it's always wrong.
Awful.
Why are you listening to him?
I don't, but it's every time he says something, it's something in the universe. It automatically the opposite happens.
Well, then go on Kalshi and bet against it, Coach. What do you think about curse breaking on no-nos and perfectos?
If you're in a dugout, yes, it is a curse. But if you're outside the dugout, in the stands, in the booth, at home, having a beer, and you mention, there's a no going, has zero effect. But if somebody on the bench or somebody within the confines of the team says, hey, Paul Skeens is throwing a no-hitter, well, that no-hitter is going to be broken up.
Yes. Okay. Well, everyone can be very disappointed when a no hitter is gone. The fans, the pitcher included. One way to lift up your spirits is to go to a very fun place like Rosie's Gaming Emporium. John, can you give us a little bit more insight on?
We're not there this weekend because we're here in wherever we are, Uniontown or Farmingdale or whatever.
Uniontown.
That's where. Anyway, Ann and I are relaxing here outside. It's getting. I have to put my West Virginia parka on because it's getting freezing out here. I'm outside. I came down. It was fine. Now it's cold, But yeah, look, we love going to Rosie's. Well, I just went to one the other day in Dumfries, which is in Virginia, the new one, to the hotel, which is just there. Had a lot of fun. But don't forget too, Rosie's highest jackpots, highest payouts, lowest take of any slot machine casino in the United States. They've done a super job there. Win money. Food is excellent. Service is super. It's clean. They don't pump in oxygen, all that nonsense. It was just a fun environment. You're really going to enjoy it. More information is go to rosiesgaming.com. Rosiesgaming.com. Ann and I are very excited about the Colonial Downs meet coming up. Starts in the middle of June. Longest meet they've ever had. Goes through the middle of June to the first week in September. Ann and I have a horse, a thoroughbred that we bought now that's in Kentucky. Will be Colonial Downs when that meet starts. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We'll have our suite there. So just it's just so much fun going there when the meet opens. More information, go to rosiesgaming.com. Post time, it's racing starting in the middle of June, Thursday. It's just a fun time to do it. So check it out, rosiesgaming.com. Win money, have fun, best place to be, just a great atmosphere.
Very cool, very cool. Moving on with more NHL talk. I mean, the Penguins series is absolutely cooked. You know, that series is done. Penguins just go ahead and move on to the next season. I mean, you also have another series in the East. You got Carolina, obviously, in Ottawa. That series is cooked. Hurricanes are taking that. One series that is really heating up that it could be anyone's ball game on the West Coast, Coach. So this would be right up your alley. Is the Golden Knights versus the Utah Mammoth, which is a very recent team, right? They are series tied up 2-2. How do you think that series is turning out? Who do you think is going to have it, and what's the outlook for the winning team on that series to go on to the Stanley Cup?
Mammoth are going to win that. Las Vegas started out like a ball. They're not playing well. The Mammoth are a very balanced team, but overall, this has been a great hockey playoff season so far. Even though we have a couple 3-0s, even the 3-0s, the games have been tight. I mean, you look at the LA Kings going to Denver. I mean, both of those games were right down to the final minute. LA played their hearts out. Then, of course, come home and get beaten. Now they're basically done. But it's been the NHL is the model of how to get this done right. It was exciting up until the final week with all these teams trying to get in the playoffs, and the Flyers just made it in, and now they're going to move on. So it's not like, oh, the weak sisters got in. And NHL is doing this right. It's exciting hockey. But I tell you, the game tomorrow night for Tampa in Montreal, this is a must-win game. They go back home down 3-1. They're not getting out of this series. So veteran team, I actually bet them last night because I'm like, Montreal, they can't get out of here going down 3-1. Canadians beat them in overtime. Loser I had. The other thing, Anaheim at home wins that game. They're back in it. Edmonton had scored 25 goals against them in the 5 games they played. Anaheim wins that game 7-3, kicks them in the teeth. This is great NHL playoff hockey. This thing is wide open. You still got the Wild is in there. Don't count out Anaheim either. I mean, it's a lot of fun teams in this thing. Montreal Flyers. It's just been a very great opening. What has it been? A week, right? A week. Right. It started a week ago. So one game after the other, going right down to the wire. There's very few blowouts in these games, and so I think it's been exciting.
You know, something of note, I just kind of looked this up before I jumped on the air today. In the history of the Stanley Cup playoffs, teams up 3-0, 63% of the time, teams up 3-0, closed it out in game 4. I'm tempted with the 3 teams that are up 3-0, take all 3 teams, and hopefully at least they go 2-1.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, definitely. Bet all 3-0s. I mean, Ottawa's done. So forget that. They had their one shot at home.
I agree with that. Pittsburgh's a dead team. That season's their season's over. So I love the Flyers. And then what was the other one? 3-0 Carolina.
Colorado.
Yeah. Colorado's going to end this thing. So we'll see what happens. You can follow my picks on Godzilla Wins. Just go to GodzillaWins.com, GodzillaWins.com. Didn't have a good night last night because I did bet Tampa. Even as much as I love Montreal and their young team, I really thought last night Tampa goes in there. They know they got to win one game, but now Tampa is in big trouble. If they don't win the second game, they're not going to win that thing. So there's a lot of pressure on Tampa. Good veteran team, but they're playing a bunch of kids. 19, I think their average age is 18, 19. It's like they're playing on a hockey pond in their rec center. So that's going to be fun to watch.
As someone who's not a big hockey fan, hasn't watched a whole lot of hockey in their lifetime, I'm a Pittsburgh fan. I don't even remember watching the back-to-back Stanley Cup Finals in 16 and 17. So, as someone who has always been more of a basketball fan, they get to 7-game series. I think later in the playoffs. Right now they're in the first round. They're in best of 5. But hockey, it is best of 7 every single series. Mm-hmm. So just explain or talk about anyone can jump on this. What makes the hockey playoffs so exciting? Because it seems like every single game, for the most part, even if it's 3-0s or 2-1s, it seems like every single game has been exciting.
Every single shift. I mean, when you watch playoff hockey versus regular season, there's a difference in the intensity, in the speed,
physicality.
The physicality. It's playoff hockey is the greatest playoff sport going, just because of the intensity of every single shift. For 90 seconds, a minute, how long these guys are on the ice, they go flat out. And there's no holding back. There's no load management. There's none of that crap. I mean, they are flat out every single shift, and it's just constant mayhem. If you're watching it, it's so exciting because the series can turn on a single pass, I mean, it's just so intense. That's the word. It's intense. It's just so intense.
Zach, I'm sure there's numbers out there, but I bet the percentage of block shots go up dramatically in the playoffs and regular season. And I bet it's huge. I bet it's probably 40 to probably 50% of block shots happen in the playoffs than they do in the regular season.
Because you endanger your body.
Blocked than the goalies.
Yeah,
you endanger your body when you do that, and that's what the Flyers have did against the Penguins.
They've
have
been
packed
really
the
good.
zone against them. You can't even get a deflection around their goal because it's just so packed in there.
That's a big reason they're beating us this series.
100%.
We can't get enough opportunities at the net, and they've played great defense.
It's also the 7 games from the first playoff, and I get what baseball has to. You can't drag that thing on, so you have the 2 out of 3. I get that. That makes baseball. You're right. The 7 having to win 4 games in every round, really play the whole season. When you go to you got the 3-on-3, and then you got the shootout, which is a whole different discussion we'll have at the beginning of the season next year. A lot of people feel one way or the other on that. But then you go 5-on-5 hockey, 5 minutes. Somebody's got to score a goal in an overtime to win. I mean, it becomes really exciting.
Sudden death.
I mean, the NHL brass has figured this out. You got to hand it to them. They have figured at least the salary cap out. They figured the playoffs out.
Logan, at least historically, I don't know about how things are shaping up necessarily this year. We have most of the playoffs still to go, but historically, home ice advantage or home blank advantage has been the least bit of the least bit of difference in hockey. Like a lot of away teams will win series. A lot of underdog victories in the NHL playoffs in these series, and so it really does make it more exciting. That you get a lot of upsets.
Why is that? Why
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't necessarily tell you, but it just historically
I think it's because there is you only have a certain amount of plays in the NFL, right? There's no room for error. I don't know how many plays a game it is. There's only so many pitches in baseball, and I think baseball is more like hockey because over time, the better team is going to show its results because of the nature of the game itself.
Here. What are you up to? I went to WVU.
This is great, John. We appreciate it. So what happens is, because of the constant nature of the game, you don't get that much advantage from playing at home because you're so locked in the game. You can't deviate from the game but so much because there are so many different plays in every single shift. So over time, the amount of decision making and execution by the players themselves mitigates the impact of the home field the home ice advantage. That's why it's a superior game than most of the other games we talk about here.
I think a lot of it might be because I think we could all agree, though, of all the sports, hockey is probably the most fan generated noise in the arena. That proximity. But you think about the game of hockey it's not a verbal thing where you're making calls at the line, line of scrimmage, or in baseball, you get the last at bat. Football, you got the climate that can play a part as well too. Hockey is you're on a sheet of ice. There's plexiglass separating you from the fans,
right?
And it's just man-on-man hockey.
But it doesn't stop. You don't have. I don't think your brain has the ability to be attuned to what's going on in the stands like it would, like in golf. You can't even sneeze
because it's constant.
But your brain is almost totally locked into the behavior of playing the actual sport. So you're all in execution all the time. But like in baseball, it gets quiet and you can hear things in the stands. You can hear people chirping. In the NFL, you can't even snap the ball because it's so loud in a home field advantage for the opposing
Logan, add
team.
to this, and this is coming from somebody who's never been to a live NHL game. I've been to live games for all the other major sports, but everybody says that the best sport to see in person is hockey.
100%.
Hands down.
Game, yep.
100%.
I would actually rather watch a football game at home on my television.
No, I wouldn't.
When I go to a football game, I'm always upset.
Well, the other thing that has propelled hockey on TV is high definition. You could watch football or baseball on a black and white TV like I did when I was with my father in the 1960s, and the Mets were on Channel 9, and there was the way he was black and white, a little channel changer and rabbit ears. You could follow the game. You could do the same thing with football or basketball. Couldn't do that with hockey. But now because of high definition TV and because of the when plasma came on and all that, it propelled hockey on television. And now you can watch the game, follow the puck, look at the other players. The camera angles have gotten better. They mastered that. It is the experience. I mean, Ann and I went the last few years, I think 6 or 7, 8 Penguins games. I mean, you go to PNC or whatever that's called in there. I mean, that thing is just PPG paid, whatever it's called. I mean,
I miss the Igloo.
We still call it Consol Energy Center.
From the minute they dropped the puck until it wasn't there. But it's just so much fun to go to a hockey game. It's not, like it was expensive, but not like crazy expensive. But it's once you get into it, and I remember the first game I went to at the Penguins. Saxman texted me and he said, "Look, don't follow the puck. Follow the 3 players around the puck." That was his advice live on the game. Don't follow the puck. Follow the 3 guys on the outside of the puck, and you'll enjoy the game more. And he nailed it. So thank you for that, Saxman. You probably don't remember that.
I remember something along those lines. Yeah, just like it's like in basketball. You don't follow the ball.
Right.
Follow what's going on. Follow the other players, and you'll see the game from a very different perspective.
That's exactly right. You gotta
because it goes so fast.
Especially in basketball, everything's happening off the ball.
Everything's
very rarely is it a one-on-one game. But it is a sports betting show, so let's stick to that and let's go over these picks for today. There's about 3 games. There's 3 games for the NHL today. You got the Hurricanes, the Senators, the Stars, and the Wild, and then the Penguins and the Flyers. Yippee! So let's start with let's start with Sachs. What are your picks for those 3 games? Any other any spreads or money lines? Anything you want to say at all?
Well, I mean, let's start with just get the misery over with. I think the Flyers close this out. I don't see anything in the Penguins in the first 3 games. But as we've learned in playoff hockey before, it's not, to Coach's point about closing out 3-0 leads. It's more often than not. However, it's not unheard of that a team will catch fire and turn it around. I just don't see it with the Penguins this time. I think they get closed out. Minnesota, I like them to tie up this series against Dallas. I just think it's a very competitive matchup here. And I also think the Hurricanes just finish it up with Ottawa as well. So they close out their sweeps tonight. Looking ahead to tomorrow, Buffalo, probably not going to get to a 3-1 lead here. I see the Bruins coming back. I think this series goes back and forth to a Game 7. Kings will get closed out by the Avalanche. Would love for Montreal to go up 3-1. Just don't see it against a quality team in Tampa Bay. But I do think the Oilers come back against the Ducks and go and get that 2-2.
John, what
okay, I'm with Saxman here, and I think the next 6 games I'm
Good thing you already said what your picks were, Sax.
You can read it on. Yeah, I mean, minus 130 on the road. Ottawa's dead. I'm going to bet them. I'm going to bet Minnesota at home minus 135. I mean, they're playing the best hockey they've played. This is a very tough team. I love them at home today. 540 game, minus $1.35. Flyers minus 120. That's my best bet of the weekend. Pittsburgh's a dead team. This thing to get this over with. Tomorrow, no way Boston gets beat 2 games at home. No way. I love Boston on Sunday. Kings, they played out. I mean, they really did. All 3 games they played hard. I gotta hand it to them. They played the best hockey of the season. They just went up against a juggernaut. They could be up here 2. I think they get finished off tomorrow night by Colorado. And then, as much as I love Montreal, if Tampa Bay doesn't win this game, they're done. This is a veteran team with a lot of good players. I mean, they've seen now Montreal 3 times. They have got to win this game in Montreal, or they are dead. And this is one of the favorites to go to the finals. So I like Tampa Bay on that game. That's on Sunday night. I'm on the Ducks bandwagon. I bet against them last night. They kicked my ass 7-4. I'm on the Ducks bandwagon at home. I think they win that game again at Tata. There's something wrong with Edmonton. Every time, you know how this team has burned me.
Yeah.
You know, you go through every season and like one football team or one baseball team burns you. They just burn me. I bet on them, they lose. I bet against them, they win. I can't figure this Edmonton team kick their ass. I'm going with the Ducks on 14 on Sunday, and that's going to wrap up for me. I'm going 7-0. Screw it.
Good for you.
All right. I hope, Coach, can you top that? Can you also go 7-0?
Well, if John goes 7-0, he might be buying some more radio stations here in the next week or 2. So, yeah, you know what, Max, John, I agree. I'm obviously going to go with all 3 teams that are up 3-0 to close it out in a Game 4. I do believe this Buffalo-Boston series going 7, just like you guys mentioned. I just don't see any way Buffalo goes up 3-1, and if they do, good for the state. But I don't see it happening. I do see Buffalo winning the series going 7, but there's a lot more hockey to be played. But I have to go against the Anaheim Oilers prediction by John. I think the Oilers, I think that's the best thing to happen to them last night, to get hammered on the road. And maybe that's a wake-up call for the Oilers. I mean, I'm looking at the glass being half full here, obviously. But you're talking about a team that's been to the Stanley Cup finals 2 consecutive years. They know how to get it done in the postseason. And don't give up on the Oilers. I think the Oilers tie this up, series 2-2. It goes back to Edmonton next week. and it'll probably be a series that will go. Obviously, it will go at least 6 at that point, and possibly 7. But take the Oilers in that one.
Go Ducks.
Okay, Dan, you got any picks? Do you think the Penguins are going to come back and win out the series, or any other crazy?
This is a comedy show.
Jesus, do you follow the NHL too? I mean, like, what are you watching here? What do you do in your downtime?
I watched Game 1, took a nap on Game 2. Did not watch.
You shouldn't be napping at 23.
But sweeps for the 3 series on the verge. Boston, Montreal, Minnesota, and I like what Coach was saying about the Oilers. I think that is a team that's sort of battle tested. So maybe they bounce back.
Okay, and then Brendan.
All right, let's just rip off the Band-Aid. Penguins are done tonight. It's over. There's no reason to even entertain picking them. I think Carolina also wraps up their series over Ottawa. I like the Minnesota Wild to even up the series. I think they're down. Yeah, they're currently down 2-1 to Dallas. I think they even that series tonight. Let's look to tomorrow. I'm going to be the contrarian one here. I think the Buffalo Sabres will go up 3-1 on Boston with a win tomorrow. And I think the Tampa Bay Lightning will even up the series against the Canadiens. I could see that series going 7, actually. The Avalanche are going to finish off the Kings, and I'm going to agree with John on the Edmonton and Anaheim game. I do not trust the Oilers. The Oilers are the Buffalo Bills of hockey. They can never win when it matters. They're not going to go anywhere. To pretend that they are is just crazy. It's just I have no faith in the Oilers to win when it matters. Ducks will go up 3-1.
All right. Well, those were our picks. I'm not even going to do any picks because I do not watch hockey, so you don't want to listen to my picks when it comes to hockey. But make sure to call 1-800-GAMBLER if you have a problem gambling a little bit too much. Maybe if you're someone who doesn't watch hockey, but you're just doing gambling when on hockey all the time, you might have a little bit of a problem. So call 1-800-GAMBLER. They'll help you out. Like I said, if you want to get those picks, if you don't remember them, you were listening to this and you already forgot, that you have bad memory, head over to the Godzilla Wins website, GodzillaWins.com. You'll be able to see all their picks. Guys like John Fredericks, Vince Mayako, Brendan Statler, Mitch Rogers is not on the call here, but he also has some picks on there.
Yeah, don't forget to get your picks in, guys. Put your picks on Godzilla Wins. If you don't put your picks on, then there's no pick for people that are not tuned in at this moment. So just go to Godzilla Wins, put your picks in. And for everybody, go to GodzillaWins.com. And Saxman, for the 1-800-GAMBLER, what did you say the over-under is on answering by the 3rd ring?
I think the 2 guys who bet on this, and it's on the internet, who called the gambling hotline, and the bet was 2.5 rings. It was over-under on 2.5 rings.
Did the overhit?
Sounds like Dr. Farthing from Dirty Work.
The overhit.
Oh my God!
The overhit.
We went to 3 rings, and then they called back again and to see who would pick up a male or a female, and they bet the money line on that. So.
Well, sometimes if you have bad nights gambling, the best way is just to sleep it off. And what better way to sleep it off than on a MyPillow pillow? Now listen, MyPillow has moved to a new factory, and they do not want all these older products to go to their new warehouse. So, what's the best option? A huge 80% off and free shipping sale. Now, you can get flannel sheets, sandals, hoodies, PJs, basically all the clothing you could want. And it's all for 80% off at MyPillow. Don't forget to use their flagship products as well, such as their pillows for as low as $19.98. That is an absolute steal. My towel sets for as low as $39.98. You get a whole set of towels for $39.98. I wish I knew that before I started college. I would have got a whole set of towels. Instead, I got a freaking crappy one from Target. Anyway, save up to 50% off on their Giza. Hope I'm saying that right. Giza Dream Bed Sheet. That just sounds fancy. I would that sounds absolutely heavenly. Might have to get that for my girlfriend for a future gift. Save on big ticket items like the MyPillow mattress toppers as low as $99.98. Not sure how much a normal mattress topper is, but that sounds like a very good deal. And get the total body support you need and best sleep of your life. Or the MyPillow mattresses made right here in the United States of America. both backed with my 60-day money-back guarantee and free shipping. Just go to mypillow.com and use promo code Godzilla or call 800-854-0504. Just go to mypillow.com and use promo code Godzilla or call 800-854-0504.
I bet John's wearing his slippers
Best-
right now.
Best live.
There we go.
What did you say? Did you just ask me something?
Oh
I
my
said,
gosh!
I bet
Here
you're
they come.
wearing your slippers.
Oh, look
right
at
now.
those!
I knew it.
Look at those.
It's my slippers right here. We get slippers
Very nice,
right
very
here,
nice.
right on my show with my slippers on. Right? You don't have my slippers, forget about it.
Kim,
So
forget about it.
I don't know
Hey,
where I
John.
am, Summit Hill or something.
Hey, John,
Wait, what I was
wait.
doing. So I got to go talk to her.
Hey, John.
We heard.
Hey, for us
What's your
novice
question?
bettors that like to bet on hockey or really, what do you recommend, the puck line or the money line when it comes to betting hockey?
Definitely the money line. You just don't want to bet the puck line. The puck line, I bet it very rarely. Once in a while, if I'll take a shot with a home team that's an underdog. But the problem with the puck line is the open net at the end. I mean, if you're down, your team's down 3-2. There's 90 seconds and a half. You're looking good. They open up the net. There's an empty net goal. You lose. I mean, it's just an annoying bet, and I rarely do betting over under. Everybody knows that. It's just no fun for me because then you want to go, you don't want to go, you want a touchdown, runs. I don't bet that. Figure out the team you bet. Don't lay if you're a novice bettor. Don't lay over 2-1. Pass that game up. Look for minus 130 or plus 115 or something of that nature. Enjoy the game. I mean, you'll enjoy the game. No puck line, no goals line. Just bet the team that you think is going to win. And especially if you're a fan of that team. You put $25 on it. Your team wins. You win a bet. You're happy. It's just a lot of fun. I mean, if you gamble for entertainment.
Yeah, but if you lose the bet, you lose the game.
Yeah, I mean, my only other advice is never, ever bet against your favorite team. It's just bad juju. And you will lose. And your team will win and you will lose the bet. Never do that.
I should bet the Flyers the next 4 games.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, you just
we'll do a little devil magic, guys.
I mean, you guys that are
strategy.
You guys that are Penguins fans that are betting the Flyers. I mean, it's just bad juju. It's bad for the soul. Don't do it.
Look, if the Steelers ever make a Super Bowl again, I'm betting everything I own on the other team. In hopes that means the Steelers will win.
Guys, I'll throw $10 on the Flyers the next 4 games. I'll spend $40 to get the Penguins. Here's
the key. Here's the key. As long as you're gambling for entertainment, and you're whatever you're losing is like you could do something else with it. Play golf, go to the bar, have a few cocktails or something. As long as it's responsible, it's within your budget, and it's for entertainment purposes. Then it could be a lot of fun. If you start thinking to pay your mortgage or your rent or your car payment, I mean, that you just got no shot. Okay, it's not going to happen. Doesn't happen anywhere. I mean, what I try to do for the year. I mean, I don't bet parlays either because that's a sucker bet, and I don't bet props. But you might want to bet that because that's kind of fun. People do that. I try to get through the year ahead. That's it. If I'm ahead $100 or $1,000, it doesn't matter. You just don't want to lose a lot, and then you're good to go. Have fun.
Do you have your guidelines for betting on Godzilla wins?
The guidelines. I really should do that. We got rid of the columns on Godzilla wins. It's just straight picks. We have a narrative in there for why you made your pick on GodzillaWins.com.
Right.
But
over under on how many more times?
And on there we have the we have the over under, we have the puck line, we have the money line, and NBA is up there, baseball's up there. Do baseball picks at the beginning of the season. I'm really focused my time on hockey. Once that's over, I'll go to baseball, which I've always very, very well at.
Well,
football not so much.
No one makes money on football. Well, except for Vegas, they make money on football.
It's tough. Yeah, it's hard.
Football's
hard.
I mean,
I went to the Greenbrier. You guys know where that is, right? West Virginia.
Great spot.
Oh yeah, of course.
Chamber of Commerce, West Virginia meeting. There's a casino down there, and then I go down. It's a Friday. It's like a Saturday. It's Friday night, Saturday. Not a lot of people there. Had fun. So then, Saturday at noon, I go down to bet college football. Now it's 12 o'clock on Saturday. You'd figure, this place would be packed, right? It's like 2 people in line. Like college football's coming on, like 11:50. So I say to the guy, "How do you guys make money here?" Right? What's like? There's nobody here. He said, "Oh well, last Sunday, $250,000 cash on the Patriots. That's how we make money." I said, "Did you lay off the bet?" He said, "No, we went to management. They took the bet. When you take it, 150,000 of it, you bet the team, so don't get killed." He said, "No, I went to management. They're like, take the bet." I said, "The guy win?" He said, "No, he bet the Patriots -6. They won by 4." Something like that. 250. So people do that, that's crazy. I mean, think about losing $250,000. He brought, the guy said he brought
cash,
a bucket, a duffel bag of cash up, but $250,000 on a football game. Like, you're nuts. Who knows?
Never bet on the NFL.
If he's got $250,000 in cash in a duffel bag, I do not want to make that guy mad. I don't know what kind of a connection he has.
Yeah, but I mean, if you have that kind of money, like $250,000 to him is like $250 to me, I guess. I mean, I don't know, but it just seems like that's just nuts.
Right,
but some people do that, I guess.
Yeah. Well, speaking about the baseball season, I know you mentioned it, John. It's heating up. It's starting to heat up a little bit. You're about like 25-ish games into the season. A lot of teams are kind of solidifying themselves as the perennial teams in this year's season. You got the Yankees, obviously, that's 17-9. They had kind of a rough start, but now they're 8-2 in their last 10. You got the Braves, who have been doing excellent as well. They're 9-1 in their last 10. That division's kind of weak with the Marlins at number 2 at 13-13. Obviously, you got the NL Central, which every single team is above 500. And then finally, the National League West with the Padres and the Dodgers at 17-8 and 17-9, respectively. Vince, I'll start with you. Specifically with that division, 2 of the top teams in the league, arguably the 2 best teams in the league. How do you think that division is going to shape up as the year goes on?
Well, I guess the Dodgers' Edwin Diaz, closer, is out for, 3 to 4 months?
Yeah.
And that was, if there was any weakness that the Dodgers had in the last couple of years, it was their lack of closer. And they thought they had secured that by bringing in arguably one of the top closers in the game, Edwin Diaz, and now he's on the shelf, going to be on the shelf for probably more than half the year. Do the Padres and other National League teams take advantage of that? Yeah, I really am surprised about the Padres where they're at right now. I thought they were kind of on the decline. Obviously, they lost their second baseman due to free agency. The Giants signed him, and really hasn't helped the Giants much. They're kind of treading water, or maybe not even treading water right now. But the Padres are a big surprise. I know a lot of our picks, all of us on this panel talked about the Reds. And the Reds are good, man. They're good. They're right there in the thick of things. I think if you look at the American League, and obviously you got your cast of characters with the Yankees and all that, but how about the Oakland/Sacramento/Las Vegas Athletics leading the AL West right now? And I believe they got up to like a 1-8 start to start the season. And they've got some talent, man. They got some really good young players, and they are priming themselves. Not necessarily are they going to win the West this year, but boy, they're setting themselves up big time. So when they finally make that move to Vegas, they could be one of the better teams in the American League when that happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're building it.
As of right now, that division is the worst in baseball, and wonder what team's at the bottom of that is the old Astros. John, what's going on with your team right now? Your ball club's not doing the hottest. I think the pitching is absolutely atrocious. I think it's one of the worst in the league. What exactly is going wrong besides, just the pitching staff? Is there, the hitters not exactly doing what expectations were met?
Well, everything is going wrong, but it starts with the injuries that we've had. When you have your first three frontline starters all out for extended periods of time, Hunter Brown, our ace, out probably till the All-Star break. The fellow that we got in the Japanese league, I cannot say his name. He had one good game. He hurt his arm. He's out. No timetable to come back. That's number two. Then they lost Christian Javier. They were depending on him. Second game, he's hurt. He's out, maybe through the All-Star break. And then Lance McCullers had one good game. I think he's done. He got shellacked again last night. I love Lance. He's tried to come back from multiple arm injuries. He's a tough guy. I was a big fan of his dad, but I think he's done. And so your first four starters, three of them are out till the All-Star break. One of them is just a disaster. The guy we got from Pittsburgh, Mike Burrows, he sucks. So that's number at 5. He absolutely sucks. So we have no starters, and then our closer Hader, he's out indefinitely. They keep, and when the Astros do injuries, they've been. This is how the organization goes. They never tell you the truth. It's all lies. Oh, he's going to be out a week. He's out like six months. So I don't know when Hader's coming back. All-Star break as well. And then you've got Pena's out. He jammed his finger playing in that stupid national baseball, world baseball thing that I detest. Altuve got hurt. Now Pena's hurt. That's stupid. So he's out. And then we got a couple guys that are not hitting. Paredes isn't hitting. So everything has gone wrong. It's the Disastros. Yeah, they're getting everybody back after the All-Star break, but they're likely to be out, 15 games out by then. So the season's a write-off now, and I don't know what the hell they're going to do. But the other two disasters are the Mets, the worst team that money cannot buy, right? I mean, losing all those games, they're done. And then how about Philadelphia? I mean, I think they got beat again last night, 9-10 losses straight. They're in trouble. Those are to me, the three biggest disaster teams are Phillies, Mets, Astros, and you might want to throw the Orioles in again. I mean, throw them in again. So
they're 500 right now.
Yeah, but everybody expected them to do a lot better. They're not going to win that division, and they're probably not going to get in the playoffs again. So those are that's the catastrophe going on.
I think before we got about 5-7 minutes here left. We got to talk about the NL Central. It's literally the best division in baseball right now. Every single team's above 500. You got the Cubs and the Reds sitting on top at 17-9 apiece. Stacks, what's going on with the NL Central? Of course, the one year the Pirates are good, everyone else is absolutely elite in the division.
Well, I mean, the Pirates are making their presence known with great pitching, great starting pitching, timely hitting. They got a lineup that can score up and down. And that's exciting for Pittsburgh baseball. They still got Jared Jones going to come back off the IL. We got, Seth Hernandez is lighting it up in single A ball, just like blowing people away. But I love what San Diego Padres are doing. Mason Miller out of the bullpen there, just as a dominant figure in the game. I love the fact that Dodgers are not being able to walk away with that division. And for baseball, don't want to get too far away from the question on the NL Central. The simple fact of the matter is the lowest percentage winning teams are Toronto, Houston, Kansas City, New York Mets, Boston, Philadelphia. Those are some of the largest markets in the game, and they're not getting it done early in the season. Now, I don't expect it to end up this way. I think they'll make the adjustments and they'll get healthy like the Astros and their starting pitching. But for the NL Central, yeah, it's surprisingly good, but it's also still early. I mean, I've been excited about early April baseball for a couple of years with the Pirates, and then all of a sudden, we're looking at the trade deadline, looking for upside. That's just the joy of being a Pirates fan. So it's great baseball. It's fun. I watch it every night. O'Neal Cruz is just coming on. He is blistering left-handed pitching, and that's fun to watch. But the rest of the lineup is also really, really dialed up and into the game, and it's just fun to see competitive baseball.
Dan, what's the likelihood that O'Neal Cruz has himself an MVP caliber season for the entire season?
I don't know about that. But his physical attributes are such that he is capable of doing things that when he's on his game. I mean, you understand why the Pirates have stuck by him and why they continue to be hopeful that he'll be somebody that who will be a difference maker for them over the long haul. But yeah, the consistency has been the issue so far, and sort of I don't know. We had something political happen in Virginia this past week, and I'll just say it's sort of as the same way I'm sort of saying I'll believe certain things when I see it with regard to that. I'll believe it when I see it with regard to O'Neal Cruz and consistency. Let's see him be the player that he has the potential to be over the course of a year before.
He beat up. He's put on some serious LBs in the offseason, and he's obviously done something with his swing and working on the left-handed pitching. And that's the kind of work you want to see out of a pro.
Yeah. I can't get the opening weekend hijinks out of my mind, though.
Yeah, but look what Skeens has done since then. My God.
Skeens or
Skeens. I mean, it hasn't hurt the ball club.
Skeens is great. Just like Cruz with the fielding. It's like but even when
but since then, have we had problems? Not really.
Not really.
He takes a couple bad angles.
Cincinnati series.
I guess,
but yeah, he's doing well out there now.
Let's we got about 3 minutes here. I want everyone's dark horse MVP candidate, and then early. Let's go. I don't know. Early team that not expected to make the playoffs going into this year. John, I'll start with you.
Padres, Mason Miller.
Mason Miller. That would be a dark horse in terms of him being a closer, but his play has been absolutely amazing. Coach, what's your dark horse MVP as of right now? And then unexpected team to make the playoffs.
I would say probably I'm not that familiar with who's off to great offensive starts and pitching starts, but I'm going to go to the AL West, and I mentioned the A's, but I think the Rangers might end up winning that division. And they're just like 2 years out from winning a World Series 2 or 3 years ago, and they've got enough pieces in place to make to win that division. And we all know how it is, man. You get in the playoffs, and whether you're the last team in or if you have, and sometimes that might even be the best option making the playoffs, is just not sitting out, because baseball is a game of timing. But I look for the Rangers to be a sleeper in the AL.
All right, I think we got time for probably one, maybe two more. Brendan, what is a team that you didn't expect to maybe be good in this part of the season and maybe can carry it throughout the year to make it the playoffs?
Like Coach said, it's entirely too early to, make much assessments about this. But I think the most impressive team, I would have to agree with him as well, is the Texas Rangers at this point. I think they've tremendously improved from the last couple years. And I think they're going to be right there with the A's to the end, fighting for that division.
Yeah, that division's pretty bad. So I think that either one of those definitely have a shot. But I think if I had to guess right now, I think the Rangers, they're a pretty good ball team. I mean, the Guardians have looked really good. The surprise team. Tigers, they're looking all right. The Rays have probably been one of my most surprising teams so far, and especially the way they're doing it. The more small ball lineup, a lot of speed, a lot of small hits, a lot of bunts. But the Marlins are also keeping it close at 13-13 right now. They're a team that everyone kind of forgets about. I know I forget about them a lot.
Kevin Cash, Manager of the Year. How this guy does it year after year after year with no money, no team, playing it basically a cement mixer that is guided it as a ballpark. How this guy does it, how he just has a pitching tree. They shake the pitching tree and guys throwing 97 fall out. I've never seen anything like it. Kevin Cash, Manager of the Year. I don't know how they do it.
Hey, that's an early prediction for John Fredericks there. But for today, that's going to be it for Godzilla Wins. I was your host, Logan Powell, with Chris Saxman, Brendan Statler, Dan Hobgood, Vince Mayago, and John Fredericks. Everyone have a great rest of your day. Make sure to watch the NFL Draft and NHL playoffs today and tomorrow. For Godzilla Wins, we are signing off.
Great job, Logan. Great job.
Thank you very much.
Good job, Logan.